Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Knowledge Academy. The main aim of this playlist is to teach or discuss the previous year date questions of all the subjects in a very detailed manner. If you are seeing this video lecture for the first time in this channel, then please go back to our playlist, get previous year questions and see the lectures from the starting so that each lectures will be understood in a very clear manner. If you like the content of this lecture, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever we upload a new video, the direct notifications comes directly to your mobile phone. So, the main aim of this lecture is to teach or discuss the 10 previous year gate questions of network theory in a detailed manner. So, why to waste more time? So, let's get started. Okay, now let's move forward to do the other numerical. The numerical number is 81. In this numerical, they have given an ideal voltage source of 25 volt and there are two resistors which value R1 and R2. And there is a voltage drop of 17 volt across the R1 and there is a current which is I flowing through the ideal voltage source. So there is a dependent current source which value is 0.4 I. The I is the current which is flowing through the ideal voltage source. And the current in the R2 branch is 14 ampere. All this is given in the question. The main aim of this question is to figure out the power delivered by the ideal source, ideal voltage source. 25 volt we need to figure out in this numerical, and this numerical is given in the date 2017 year for 1 mark. So now let's move forward to solve this numerical. If you see carefully, there are actually two nodes. So across this node, if you see, there is an incoming current of I and there is incoming current of another incoming current of 0.4 I, and there is only one outgoing current which is 14 ampere. So by KCL we know that the sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. So the incoming currents are I and 0.4 I. So therefore the sum of incoming currents is I plus 0.4 I is equal to the outgoing current is only 14 ampere across this node. So therefore it is equal to 14. So if you solve this numerical, if you solve this equation, I plus 0.4 is equal to 1.4 I is equal to 14. So therefore I is equal to, if you do the calculation, I is equal to 10 ampere. But we need to find the power delivered by the 25 volt. Means power delivered in this element, the current is going from the negative to positive. Means in the ideal voltage source, which is 25 volt source, the current is going from the negative to positive. Means this element is going to deliver the power because the current is going from the negative terminal to positive terminal. So this ideal voltage source is going to deliver the power. So therefore the power delivered by the ideal voltage source, which is 25 volt, is equal to the voltage into current. So the voltage is 25 volt and the current is I. The current is already, which we know, which I is equal to 10 ampere. So therefore 25 into 10 is equal to 250 watt, which is the required answer. Therefore power delivered by the ideal voltage source is 250 watt. So this is the required solution of this numerical. So now move forward to do the another numerical. The numerical number is 82. In this numerical, there is an ideal voltage source of 10 volt and there are two resistors. The resistors are R ohm and another is 2R resistance, and there is a capacitor value which is C. So the main aim of this numerical is to find the time constant of this circuit, and this question is given in the gate year 1992 for 1 mark. If you see carefully, the circuit looks like a combination of resistor and a capacitor circuit. So we need to simplify this circuit in order to get a pure RC circuit. So we need to do the Thevenin equivalent across the circuit. We need to figure out the Thevenin equivalent across the capacitor. Means we need to simplify the circuit and we need to write the equivalent circuit across the capacitor. So if you want to write the equivalent circuit across the capacitor, then we need to remove the capacitive load, remove the capacitance load, and we need to find the VTH. Here we need to find the VTH voltage. VTH by voltage division rule, we need to find the Thevenin voltage. So therefore VTH is equal to 10 volt. 10 volt into 2R by R plus 2R. So therefore by voltage division rule, we are finding the voltage across the 2 ohm resistor. So therefore 2 into R, 2R resistors. So if you do a simplification, you will get 20R by 3R. So therefore 20R by 3R. So therefore R4 R will get cancelled. Therefore answer is 2 by 3 volt. and we need to find the now Thevenin resistance across this terminals, across the capacitive load terminals, across the 2R terminals we need to find Thevenin resistance. Because the procedure is, whenever to find the Thevenin resistance, we need to short circuit the ideal voltage sources or we need to open circuit the ideal current sources. In the circuit there is only ideal voltage sources, therefore we need to short circuit the ideal voltage sources. So therefore by short circuiting, if you see carefully across these terminals, R and 2R are in parallel combination across the terminals. So therefore R and 2 are in parallel combination. So therefore we can simply write RTH is equal to R into 2R. By parallel combination, the parallel will be R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. So therefore R into 2R plus by 2R, R plus 2R is equal to, if you do the calculation, it will become 2R square by 2R plus R is equal to 3R. So if you do the simplification, it will become 2R by 3. 2R by 3 is the net Thevenin resistance across the terminals. So now we can easily write the equivalent circuit across the capacitor is like this, like VTH, and we need to write the VTH, and there is a equivalent RTH, and across the terminals now we need to connect the capacitor. We need to connect the capacitor. So RTH is 2R by 3 and the capacitor is given C. So now we need to find the time constant. Time constant is equal to RT, which is RC. It's like a pure series RC circuit. Therefore time constant is R into C. Here R is equal to RTH and C is C. So therefore RTH into C. But RTH is equal to 2R by 3 and the capacitor is C. So therefore answer is equal, time constant is equal to 2RC by 3. So therefore time constant is equal to 2RC by 3. It means the significance of time constant is the time in which the current, the voltage across the capacitor will go 63% of the maximum value. Means the voltage across the capacitor will increase from 0 to maximum value. So in time constant T, the voltage across the capacitor is 63.2% of maximum value, which is V, which is the supply voltage VC. So the time constant means the voltage across the capacitor will go 63.2% of the maximum value. So the time constant of the circuit is 2RC by 3. Now we will move forward to do the another question. The question number is 83rd. In this question there is an element and the current in the element is I of t and the voltage across the element is V of t. The graphs are given in the question. The current through the element is given. There is a straight line from 0 to 2 seconds. There is a straight line and the highest magnitude is 2 ampere. After 2 seconds the current is constant, and similarly the voltage across the element is 2 volt up to 0 to 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds the voltage across the element is 0, as you seen in the graph. So the main aim of this question, they have given the graphs. We need to find the nature of the element and its value. We need to find in this question. This question is given in the GATE 1997 year for 2 marks. So actually in electrical engineering there are 3 elements which we know. They are resistor, capacitor and inductor. So first let us write the equations for these 3 elements, the resistor, capacitor and the inductor, and then we need to find what type of element it is based on the expressions we write. So for resistor, V of t is equal to I of t into R, because R, the resistance of resistor is always constant, but the voltage and the current are dependent on the time. So therefore I have given the expression for V of t is equal to I of t into R, which is a time varying nature. The voltage and the current are in the time varying nature. This is for the resistor equation. For the resistor, R means the resistor. This equation is for the resistor. So similarly for capacitor, equation is I of t is equal to C dV by dVt of t by dt. This is the expression for the capacitor. Voltage and the current expression for the capacitor. As a C is always constant given for a capacitor, the current and the voltage are time varying. So similarly for the inductor, V of t is equal to L di of t by dt. This is the expression for the inductor. The L value is always constant for inductor. The voltage and the current value are time varying nature. So now resistor, capacitor, inductor equations we already wrote. So from these expressions we need to figure out whether this graphs belongs to resistor or capacitor or inductor. So first let us assume it is a resistor. This element is a resistor, and if you see whether these equations and the graphs are tally, then only it will become resistor. So I am assuming the element is a resistor. If you see carefully here, from 0 to 2 seconds the voltage is 2 volt. So voltage and the current are directly proportional. So when the current is 0, it means the voltage also has to be 0. If voltage is 0, then the current has to be 0. See here, after 2 seconds the voltage is 0. But the current after 2 seconds, the current is not 0. Means when the voltage is 0, if it is a resistor, then the current also has to be equal to 0. But in this case it is not happening. Even if the voltage is 0, the current is not 0. So that's why this element is not a resistor. So therefore two options are available. So among these two we need to figure out which the element is, whether capacitor or inductor. So I of t is equal to C dv of t by dt. dv of t by dt is the slope of the voltage curve. So here 0 to 2 seconds the voltage is constant, which is 2 volt. So when it is horizontal line, right? Horizontal line means the slope is 0. So dv by dt is 0 in 0 to 2 seconds. But I of t has to be 0 if it is a capacitor. But 0 to 2 seconds the waveform of current is not 0. So therefore this element is not also capacitor. I am repeating it again. If 0 to 2 seconds the voltage waveform has a magnitude of 2 volt. So therefore its slope is 0. If the dv by dt is 0, therefore C into 0 has to be 0. Therefore I of t is equal to 0 in 0 to 2 seconds. But in 0 to 2 seconds the current is not 0. It is a straight line. So therefore this element is not capacitor. So therefore the only equation which is available is inductor. So therefore this equation satisfies the inductor equations. Let us see. If you see here, after 2 seconds the current is straight line, means the slope of di by t, the slope of the current waveform after 2 seconds is 0. So it is 0. The whole di by dt is 0. So element is 0 becomes 0. So therefore v of t is equal to 0 for greater than 2 seconds, which is seen in this graph also. And if you see from 0 to 2 seconds, di of dt is a constant because it's a straight line. The slope of straight line is constant. So for then constant into L is again constant equation. So from 0 to 2 seconds there is a constant magnitude line. So therefore we need to find this equation is satisfying so therefore the element is inductor. So now we need to find the element value. So therefore this is inductor. So now we need to find the value. So this is the inductor, right? So now I am writing for expression for the equation for 0 less than t less than or equal to 2 seconds. So in 0 less than t less than or equal to 2 seconds, dit by dt is the slope of this line. Slope, the magnitude is 2a and the time is 2. So therefore y by x. So v of t is how much in 0 to 2 seconds? 2 volt. So for 2 is equal to L di by dt. So slope y by x. Y is how much? 2 ampere. By x is how much? 2 seconds. So 2 to get cancelled. So therefore L is equal to 2 Henry. So its value is 2 Henry. So we figure out the element is inductor and its inductor's value is how much? 2 Henry. So after solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to solve another numerical. The numerical number is 84. So we need to, the circuit consists of some network. It is this diagram represents this square box represents it is a network which has connections of resistors and the ideal sources. There is some interconnection. So across these terminals A and B, the voltage is V and the current going out of this is I. The voltage and the current relationship is given by a graph. The straight line it's a straight line, x-intercept of 8 volt and a y-intercept of 4 milliampere. So for this, if we connect a ideal inductor of 6 millihenry across this port, then we need to find what is the time constant of this whole circuit. We need to figure out in this example. So this question is given in the GATE year 1996 for the 1 mark. So now let's move forward to solve this numerical. If you see carefully here, x-intercept of 8 volt and the y-intercept of 4 milliampere. It means at this point at 8 volt, see V is equal to 8 volt. If it is 8 volt and the current is how much? 0. Is 8 volt comma 0. So therefore 8 volt comma 0 means the voltage is 8 volt and the current is 0. So therefore current is 0. Similarly, if you write the point here, it will become 0 comma 4 milliampere. This point is 0 comma 4 milliampere and this point is 8 volt comma 0. So therefore voltage is 8 volt and the current is 0 at this point. And similarly at this point the voltage is 0 and the current is 4 milliampere. So therefore voltage is equal to 0. Let me assume this as a point A and this as point B. So this is at point A. At point A, and V is equal to 0 and the current is 4 milliampere at point B. These are the 2 points which I am considering. See, if you suppose this whole circuit I am going to write in terms of Thevenin equivalent circuit. This whole network I am going to write in terms of a Thevenin circuit. So this is a Thevenin voltage. This is a Thevenin voltage and this is a Thevenin resistance. There is a Thevenin resistance. So these are the 2 point terminals. This is a point, this is a terminal A and this is terminal B. These are the terminals A and B. So now for this network we are connecting a 6 millihenry inductor. Similarly for the same circuit, this is the equivalent circuit of this whole circuit with Thevenin equivalent. So for this circuit also we are connecting a 6 millihenry that I will connect later. So now we need to figure out VTH and RTH. See, at point A the voltage is 8 volt, means with this voltage, right? This voltage and this current expression is when at point A the voltage is 8 volt, means 8 volt and the current is 0. Current will be 0 only when it is open circuit. So I am open circuiting it. So if it is 0, I am considering point A. So therefore when the current is 0, the drop in is also 0. So therefore VTH is equal to V. VTH is equal to V. But V is given, which is 8 volt, right? So therefore VTH is also V. So therefore we got VTH is equal to 8 volt. We got from the point A. Now we will move to point B. See, at point B they have given voltage is equal to 0. So voltage will be 0 only when there is a short circuit. So I am making it a short circuit. Now current is equal to 4 milliampere. So current will be equal to 4 milliampere. So which is given, current is equal to 4 milliampere. So now we need to find RTH because VTH is already we know 8 volt and the current we know which is 4 milliampere. Now we have to find RTH. So VTH is equal to current into RTH. So therefore VTH is equal to, see, by KVL also we can write. Suppose if you have any doubt, see, by KVL current goes from higher potential to lower potential. So by KVL, this is a KVL, right? This is a KVL. So by KVL I am going from negative to positive. So therefore it is plus VTH. I am going from positive to negative. So there is a drop in potential minus I into RTH and from minus V. Minus V is equal to, I am going from plus to minus, right? Plus to minus is equal to 0. But V is equal to 0 because there is an ideal short circuit. So therefore V is equal to 0. So we can write it VTH is equal to I into RTH. VTH is already 8 volt. I am solving this equation here. So VTH is equal to H. Current is already 4 milliampere. Now here VTH is equal to, I am writing it here, it is 8. which is already known 8 volt, and the current is already given, which is 4 milliampere, means 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So we need to find the RTH. So therefore RTH, if you solve this equation, we will get RTH is equal to 2 kilo ohm. So the value of RTH is equal to 2 kilo ohm. So now we know VTH, now we know RTH. So VTH is equal to 8 volt, which you have figured out, and the RTH is also 2 kilo ohm. So now we need to write the Thevenin equivalent circuit, which is VTH is equal to, which is VTH, and this is the VTH, and this is the RTH. This is the RTH. So this is the terminals A and B. This is the terminals A and this is the terminals B. So for these terminals we are connecting a ideal inductor which is 6 millihenry. 6 millihenry we are connecting across the terminals A and B. So now we need to find the time constant. This is a RL circuit, series RL circuit. For series RL circuit, the time constant is L by R. Here R is equal to RTH. So L by RTH. So L is equal to 6 millihenry, 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3 by RTH, which is already known, 2 into 10 to the power of 3 ohms. So if we do the calculation, therefore time constant is equal to 3 microseconds. So the time constant of the circuit is 3 microseconds. So therefore time constant is 3 microseconds, which we figure out in this numerical. What I am trying to say in this example is, there is a network which consists of resistor and ideal voltage source. I am going to make all this complex circuit into a simple circuit, which is a Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance. Actually in this time constant we need only L value and R value. No need to find Thevenin resistance, but I have figured out just to know the value of Thevenin resistance. So whole circuit values which I have figured out. So that's why I have calculated the Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance. For this network we have calculated 6 millihenry. So for to calculate the VTH and RTH, I have taken 2 points. Let me consider this as a point A and this is a point B. Point A is 8 volt comma 0 and point B is 0 comma 4 milliampere. So by these two conditions for this circuit, it's a combination of VTH and RTH. I have figured out the VTH value and the RTH. So by all this, knowing these values, we easily calculate the value of the L and R time constant of this whole circuit. So after solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to do the another numerical. The numerical number is 85. In this numerical, they have given ideal voltage source of V, and there is a series RL circuit which is R and L, and the current through them is I. So in this circuit there is a switch. The switch is closed at t is equal to 0. In this question they also given that initial conditions in the circuit are 0, means before the switch is closed the current in the inductor is 0. I am reading it again. In this question they are given that initial conditions are 0. So the current, it means that the current in the inductor before the switch is closed, it is 0, means and before the switch is closed, I of 0 minus, means the current in the inductor before the switch is closed is 0. So what we already know that the current in the inductor doesn't changes immediately, or the current in the inductor does not changes instantaneously. Therefore the current in the inductor increases slowly. So therefore in the inductor I of 0 minus is equal to I of 0 plus. But they already given in the question that is I of 0 minus is equal to 0. Therefore I of 0 plus is also equal to 0. So the main aim of this question is to figure out the d square I by dt square at t is equal to 0 plus. We need to find in this numerical. So this numerical is given in the gate year 2015 for 1 mark. So now let's write the K. Suppose I am closing the switch at t is equal to 0. So therefore now I am writing the equation for t greater than 0. For t greater than 0, for t at t greater than 0, I am writing the expression. So therefore the current goes from higher potential to lower potential, and similarly higher potential to lower potential. So by KVL, by writing the KVL in this closed loop, I am going from negative to positive. Therefore there is a rise in potential which is plus V, and again there is a decrease in potential which is minus R into I. And similarly I am going from plus to minus, therefore decreasing potential. So the voltage across the inductor is L into di by dt is equal to 0. So now V minus Ri minus L di by dt is equal to 0. This is the KVL expression of this closed loop. So now for this, this at t greater than 0. So now I am writing for at t is equal to 0 place, I am evaluating all the values. At t is equal to 0 place, if I keep t is equal to 0 place in this equation, as the v is always constant, so therefore it is again v. So r is always constant, so r into I of 0 plus minus L of d I of 0 plus by dt is equal to 0. So but I of 0 plus is already given, which is already known, which is 0. So therefore this whole expression will become 0. So therefore now v is equal to, if you do the calculation for this one, we will get v is equal to L di of 0 plus by dt. So now therefore di of 0 plus by dt is equal to v by L, which we got. But we need to find d square I by dt square, means second differentiation. But we have figured out only first differentiation. So now we need to move forward to do the second differentiation. At t greater than 0, we have already written the KVL, which is plus v minus I of t into r minus L of dit by dt is equal to 0, which you already got. T of I of 0 plus by dt is equal to v by L, which we already figured out. So our main aim is to find d square I by dt square. We need to find that t is equal to 0 plus. So it is a second order differentiation. So we have got only first order. So we need to do again another differentiation. So if you do the differentiation for this KVL equation, so again dv by dt minus r is always constant, therefore r into di of dt by, which is a time variable, as the current is a dependent upon the time, so we have to do the differentiation with respect to time. Again minus L, if you are doing again differentiation, it will become second order, as it is first order. If you do again differentiation, it will become second order. So therefore d square I of dt by I square by dt is equal to 0. As the voltage is a constant value, differentiation of constant value will become 0. So therefore this value will become 0. So now I am writing this equation at t is equal to 0 plus. I need values at t is equal to 0 plus, right? So therefore minus r di of 0 plus by dt minus L into d square I by 0 plus by dt square, this is dt square, is equal to 0. As di of by 0 plus by dt, which is already known, which is v by L. So therefore minus r v by L minus L d square I of 0 plus by dt square, this dt square is equal to 0. So now we need to find d square I by dt square. We need to figure out. So therefore it will become rv by L is equal to, if it goes to positive, it will become rv by L is equal to minus L d square I by 0 plus by dt square. So we need only d square I, right? So therefore it will become d square I of 0 plus by dt square is equal to, as L goes downward, it will become L square. As negative it will become right, minus RV. So therefore the answer is minus RV by L square. This is the expression of this unknown parameter. Minus RV by L square is the answer for this question. After solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to do the another numerical. The numerical number is 86. In this question, they have given a circuit. In this circuit, there is a ideal voltage source of 10 volt and there is a resistor of 10 ohm and there is an inductor of 10 millihenry. So, in this question, they are given that at t less than 0, means before the switch is closed, the circuit is at steady state condition. And after closing the switch, we need to find the current in the inductor. At instant t is equal to 0 plus, we need to find in this question where I is equal to current which is flowing through the inductor. This question is given in the GATE year 2005 for 2 marks. So now let's do this. If you see carefully, at t is equal to 0, at less than 0, the switch is off in position. At t greater than 0, the switch is closed condition. So at t is equal to 0 minus at t is equal to 0 minus, the circuit is at steady state condition, which is already given in the question. So whenever the circuit is in steady state condition, always whenever there is applies DC, the inductor will become short circuit. So therefore L is equal to short circuit at the final steady state condition. Therefore L means inductor and SC means short circuit. So therefore we need to draw the diagram. So this is a 10 volt battery, and this is the resistor of 10 ohm, and at a steady state we need to replace inductor by a short circuit. So therefore I have replaced the inductor by short circuit. And if you see carefully, at t less than 0, the switch is at open condition. That's why I have given an open condition. So we need to find the current. So if you write the KVL equation, the current goes from higher potential to lower potential by writing the KVL in this loop. So if I am going from negative to positive, there is a rising potential which is plus 10, and if I go from positive to negative, there is a decreasing potential of minus 10 into I is equal to 0. So therefore it is actually we are doing a calculating the current at t is equal to minus 0, right? Let me assume it as I of 0 minus. So therefore I of 0 minus. So if I do the calculation, then I will get I of current at instant t is equal to minus 0, at 0 minus the current is 1 ampere. So but we need to find at current in the inductor at t is equal to 0 plus. So in inductor current doesn't increases instantaneously. It means the current in the inductor grows slowly. So therefore the current in the inductor and the voltage across the capacitor doesn't changes instantaneously. So here only inductor is given, therefore the current, so whenever the switch is closed, the current in the inductor before the switch is closed and after the switch is closed, at two particular instants always the current is same. So therefore I of 0 minus is equal to I of 0 plus. But if we have already calculated the current in the inductor at instant t is equal to minus 0 is 1 ampere. So therefore I of 0 plus is also 1 ampere. So this is our required solution, which is 1 ampere. But we will do somewhat more analysis in this circuit. If you do more analysis for this circuit, we will get like this. So our required answer is I of 0 plus is equal to 1 ampere. But even though we will do more analysis and we will figure out something very interesting concept in this analysis. See here, at t is equal to 0 plus, the circuit is like this. Because the switch is closed, that's why I have written it as a short circuit. So the current at t is equal to 0 plus, the current in the inductor is 1 ampere. So I have written it as 1 ampere. So but I want to find the current in the 10 ohm, resistor. I need to find the current. Let me assume it is a current I. So by KVL, see current goes from positive to negative. So I want to write KVL in this loop. I am writing KVL in this loop. So I am going from negative to positive. So therefore there is a rising potential plus 10, and I am going from positive to negative. So therefore there is a decreasing potential minus 10 into I. So here there is a no branch. So that's why whole KVL is 0. So therefore I is equal to 1 ampere. So therefore the current in the 10 ohm resistor is also 1 ampere. So now if we write now I am removing all these things so that it will be very easy for us to analyze the circuit in a very easy manner. See what I am trying to say is, now I want to find the current in this short circuit branch. Let me assume this is somewhat I2. So I want to find what is the value of the current in the short circuit branch. So incoming current is 1 ampere and outgoing current is 1 ampere and another is I2. So by KCL at this junction, the incoming currents are only 1 ampere and the outgoing currents are I2 and 1. So therefore I2 plus 1. So therefore we will get I2 is equal to 0 ampere. It means the current in the short circuit branch is 0 ampere. So therefore I am simplifying it as a 0 ampere. What I am trying to say is, even then it is a short circuit, the current in the short circuit branch is always 0 ampere, and the current in the 10 ohm resistor is 1 ampere, and the current in the inductor is 1 ampere. This is the ideal voltage source. So this circuit is not only same for t is equal to 0 plus, it is also same for t greater than 0. So as switch is closed, always the current in 10 ohm resistor is 1 ampere, and the current in the 10 10 millihenry is 1 ampere, and the current in the short circuit branch is 0 ampere. This is for t greater than 0 for all conditions. At t is equal to 1, same circuit. At t is equal to 2 seconds also, same the values in the current, the values in this all the circuit elements doesn't changes. This circuit is same from t greater than 0. So finally I will conclude. What I am trying to say at final is, our main aim in this problem is current in the inductor at instant t is equal to 0 plus is 1 ampere. That we have found out. But what I am trying to say extra is, this circuit, whatever the currents in all these branches will remain constant even at t greater than 0 at any instant of time. This current value does not changes. They will always remain 1 ampere in 10 ohm resistor and 1 ampere in 10 millihenry and 0 ampere in the short circuit branch after the switch is closed. That is what I am trying to say. After solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to do the another numerical. The numerical number is 87. In this numerical, they have given an inductor. In inductor, the voltage across the inductor is V of t and the current in the inductor is I of t. So the inductance is 1 Henry. So the voltage across the inductor is already given. V of t is equal to 12 t square at t greater than or equal to 0. Means voltage is equal to 12 t square only for t greater than 0. Means at t less than 0 it is 0. So they also given that the current in the inductor at time t is equal to 0 is 0 ampere, and we need to find I of t, the current in the inductor for t greater than 0. We need to find in this numerical, and this numerical is given in the GATE 2000 year for 1 mark. So let's do this numerical. See, first before doing this numerical, we need to know the voltage current expression across the inductor. The voltage current expression across the inductor is V of t is equal to L d I of t by dt. So now I am writing this equation for t greater than or equal to 0. I am writing this whole equation for t greater than or equal to 0. At t greater than or equal to 0, V of t is, which is already given, which is 12 t square. So and L is already, we know it is 1. So 1 into di of t by dt. So now I am writing this dt, I am writing to the left side. Therefore d of I of t is equal to 2L t square into dt. So now I need to do simplification, then only I will get the required answer. So now I am doing integration. See, we need to find for t greater than or equal to 0. So initial time is 0. So t is equal to, see I am here doing integration from t is equal to 0 to some t is equal to some particular time instant, let it be t. And similarly at t is equal to 0, the current in the inductor is 0 ampere, which is 0 ampere. And at t is equal to t, the current in the inductor is, let me assume it is I of t. It's a function of time. So therefore, if I do this calculation, it will become I of t is equal to I of t minus 0 is equal to I of t is equal to, if you do the integration of t square, it will become t cube by 3. Now I will do integration from t is equal to 0 to some t value. So therefore I will get 12 t cube by 3. So 3 ones are 3 fours are. Therefore I of t, the current in the inductor is 4t cube for t greater than or equal to 0. This is the required solution of this numerical. If you substitute t is equal to 0, then I of 0 is equal to 0. So therefore the initial condition is also satisfied by this equation. Therefore the answer is I of t is equal to 4t cube for t greater than or equal to 0, and V of t is equal to 12t square for t greater than or equal to 0. After solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to do the another numerical. The numerical number is 88. In this numerical, they have given 3 capacitors of 1 farad capacitor of each value has a capacitance of 1 farad, and there are 2 resistors of value 3 ohm, and there is a current source of 3 ampere. And in the circuit, we need to find out what is the time constant of this circuit. And this question is given in the GATE 2008 for 2 marks. So now let's do this numerical. Actually, if you see carefully, this circuit can be represented as some type of RC circuit simplification. So therefore, first I will do the simplification of the capacitors. As these 2 capacitors are connected in parallel, so therefore equivalent capacitors, whenever they are connected in parallel, is equal to sum of their individual capacitors. Therefore 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 farad. And this I am going to represent this one circuit by a 2 farad capacitor. So now these two Farad capacitor and one Farad capacitor are in series combination. So therefore C equivalent, these two combinations C equivalent is equal to, whenever they are connected in series, it will become product of their capacitance by sum of their capacitance. Therefore 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1. Therefore it is 2 by 3 Farad. So therefore now I am going to replace these two capacitors by a single capacitor, which capacitance value is now 2 by 3 Farad. Now 2 by 3 Farad. So now this 3 ampere and this 3 ohm, this is a practical current source. Now this current source can be converted to a practical current source. So therefore I am trying to simplify this practical current source to a practical voltage source. Therefore I am going to draw this whole circuit again. Just see carefully. This is 2 by 3 Farad. This is 2 by 3 Farad and this is a 3 ohm resistor. So I am converting a practical current source to a practical voltage source. So therefore the voltage source value will be always positive. Positive means the upper terminal arrow part must be taken as a positive and the tail part is taken as a negative. So this voltage value is equal to product of the current and the resistor. The resistor is 3 and the product current is 3. So 3 into 3 is 9 volts. And in practical current source, there must be we need to connect a resistor in series with the ideal voltage source. This resistor value is same as the previous resistor, which is 3 ohm current source. So therefore, now this circuit can be seen as some RC circuit. So as the two resistors are connected in series, so whenever the two resistors are connected in series, the net resistance is the sum of the individual resistance. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6 ohm. Therefore, this is the 6 ohm. So now I am trying to say is I have simplified the complex, the bigger circuit into a smaller circuit, which is just a 6 ohm and a 2 by 3 Farad. Now we need to find a time constant. Time constant of RC circuit is product of the resistance and the capacitance. So the resistance is 6 ohm and the capacitor is 2 by 3 Farad. So therefore 2 by 3 Farad, 2 by 3. So time constant is equal to, if you do the simplification, it will become 4 seconds. So the time constant of this circuit is 4 seconds, which we did. So I will explain it again. See, whenever we see a complex circuit, first of all we have to simplify the circuit. So I have simplified all the capacitance to a single capacitor and all the resistance to a single resistance. Then it is simplified to a simpler series RC circuit, which you already know the time constant is product of the resistance and the capacitance. Therefore we got the answer 2 is equal to 4 seconds. After solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to solve the another numerical. This numerical is a very interesting concept, so please listen carefully. So the question number is 89. So in this question, they have given an ideal voltage source of 3 volt and there are two capacitors which are C1 and C2. C1 is 1 Farad and C2 is 2 Farad, and there are two switches which are S1 and S2. So at t, they have given the question at t less than 0, S1 is closed and S2 is open, and that after t greater than 0, S1 is open and S2 is closed. So at this t greater than 0, we need to find the voltage across the capacitor C1 and the voltage across the capacitor. So they both are equal. I am going to explain why they are equal also. And we need to find the voltage across the capacitor's value at t greater than 0. We need to find in this numerical, and this numerical is given the GATE 2009 for 2 marks. So let's now do this numerical by dividing it into 2 parts. So the first part is at a time t less than 0. At time t less than 0, we know that S1 is closed and S2 is open. So therefore I am going to draw the circuit which is S1 is equal to closed and S2 is open at t less than 0. So therefore at t less than 0, I am drawing the equivalent circuit. You see carefully here C1 and C2. So I have closed the S1, I have opened the S2. So, and they also given the question that the initial charge in the capacitor C2 is 0. Means the C2 is uncharged in this question. They have already given the question. So now we need to find something which is very really useful. So now at t less than 0, C2 is uncharged, which is already given the question. So therefore C1 is only connected to 3 volt ideal voltage source. Suppose if there is let me assume there is a resistor which is R. Let me assume there is a resistor. So therefore this capacitor will have this circuit. It's a series RC circuit. Therefore it has a time constant which is R into C. But in this case, in the really the R is 0 because it's a short circuit, right? So if R is 0, therefore 0 into C will become 0. The time constant is 0. It means that this capacitor will charge us in a very instantaneously. Suppose if tau is not equal to 0, means it will take some time the capacitor to get fully charged up to 3 volt. But here they have given R is equal to 0, means whenever the supply is given 3 volt, at a particular same instant of time, this capacitor will charge to a voltage of 3 volt. So therefore the voltage across the capacitor is 3 volt. So now I need to find how much is the charge stored in the capacitor. So therefore the charge in the Q1 is equal to the Q1 is charge stored in the capacitor. Charge stored in the capacitor Q1 is equal to C into V, or C1 right? C1 is how much? Is already known, 1 farad. So 1 into voltage across the capacitor is 3 volts. So therefore the charge stored in the capacitor is 3. This is the total charge 3 coulombs. In this 3 coulombs, therefore the 3 coulombs of charge is stored in the capacitor C1. Let me assume there is a small tank. Let me assume this is a capacitor. This tank has a capacitance of C1. Means this much capacity this tank can hold the water. So let me assume this much amount of water is we can fully fill in this tank. So this is the tank 1. In this tank I can fill up to this much volume of water. Means this tank has a capacity of C1. So that this much amount of water can be stored in this volume of water can be stored in this tank. So now I am going to explain this concept later. So let me do it. Let me take it a break here. See here. So now at t greater than 0. See, at t greater than 0. At t greater than 0, they are already given that S1 is open and S2 is closed. So now I am going to draw the equivalent circuit. Again the circuit, here S1 is open and here S2 is closed. S2 is closed. So I have closed the S2, I have opened the S1. So therefore, I have no need to construct this circuit because this circuit is open. Only this C1 and C2 are now in connection. They have connected, they are interconnected now. So therefore the voltage across capacitor C1 is equal to voltage across capacitor C2. That's why I have written VC1 is equal to VC2. Now I need to find how much is the voltage. How much is the voltage? It will be. So I am explaining this one again so that it may not confuse you. See, there is a capacitor, there is a tank 1 and there is a tank 2. The tank 1 has a capacity C1 and the tank 2 has a capacity C2. The tank C2 is empty. So now what I am trying to do, C1 is fully filled with water and C2 is not, it is empty. So now what I am trying to do is I will connect a pipe. I will connect a pipe through both of these tanks. So now what will happen? The water goes from tank 1 to tank 2. So that tank 1 and tank, so the water in the tank, some amount of water in tank 1 will go to tank 2. So therefore what I am trying to say is, so the volume of this water in the tank 1 and volume of water in tank 2, the summation is already equal to the original tank T1 volume. Again I will explain. See, let me assume initially some 3 liters of water present in tank 1. Initially in the tank 1 there is a 3 liters of water. So now I have connected another tank and I connected a pipe between them. So the water in this tank is distributed in between C1 and C2. So let me assume in this tank there is some 2 liters of water and in this tank now there is 1 liter of water. So therefore the summation is already original and new values. So here also same thing, same concept. So initially the charge in the capacitor C1 is 3 coulombs. Now this 3 coulombs is going to distribute in C1 and C2. So therefore total charge initial, let me assume this is a Q1, right? Let me assume it is a Q. So Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. This charge in the C1 is now redistributed between C1 and C2. So Q is equal to C, right? Q is already we know, which is 3. So now Q1 is equal to C into V. Let me assume this is the voltage V. This is we need to find. VC1 is equal to VC2 is equal, let me assume it is V. So we need to find the voltage. So Q1 is equal to C1 into V. C1 is already known. C1 is C1 into V plus Q2 is equal to C2 into V. So we need to find V, right? So V is equal to 3 by C1 plus C2. So therefore 3 by C1 plus C2 is C1 is 1 and C2 is 2. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So therefore 1 volt. So therefore voltage across the combination is 1 volt. See, I will explain again. What I am trying to say is, initially in this tank there is some 3 liters of water. So I have connected a new tank which is really empty. So I want to transfer some amount of water in tank 1 to tank 2. So I have connected a pipe between them. So now the water in the tank 1 is going to redistribute between tank 1 and tank 2. So let me assume in this 2 liters of water present and this is 1 liter of water present. So therefore initial volume in the tank 1 is 3 liters and now in the C1 is in the final it is 2 liters and 1 liter. So same concept here also. 3 coulombs of charge is present in C1 at t less than 0. But now after t greater than 0 these two capacitors are connected in a particular fashion so that the initial charge is going to redistribute between C1 and C2. So that is why 3 is equal to C1 to C1 plus C into V. So therefore we need to find the voltage across the capacitor C1 and C2 which is 1 volt. If you not understood this concept then please go back and listen this numerical again, it will be very clarified. After solving the previous problem, now let's move forward to do the last numerical of this lecture which is 90. So this numerical is a very interesting concept, so listen carefully. In this there is a resistor, there is a resistor R and there is a load which is inductive load which has a resistor and inductor. The resistance value is RL and the inductance value is X and we have connected some AC source to this circuit. So they have given in this the voltage reading across the source is 220 volt and the voltage reading across the R is 122 volt and the voltage across V3 across the load is 136 volt. So this question we need to find two things in this question. First thing is we need to find the load power factor, means the load power factor is cos phi. We need to find in this numerical. And also we need to find the other part is when RL is equal to 5 ohm, means the load resistance is 5 ohm, then we need to find how much is the power consumed by the load. These two things we need to find in this question. So each question carries 2 marks, therefore the total marks is 4 marks. This question is given in the GATE year 2012 for 4 marks. So let's do this numerical. See, this is a series circuit. So in the series circuit, let I am assuming there is a current I flowing through this circuit. So what I am trying to do is first I will draw the phasor diagram, then everything will be very easy to understand. So this is a series circuit, right? In series circuit always we will take current as a reference phasor. So therefore the current I am going to take is as a reference phasor. Current is a reference phasor. So first I will draw voltage diagram for the phasor diagram for this load. So the current in the resistors and the voltage across the resistor are both are in phase. So I will write the voltage across the resistor RL is the voltage across the resistor RL, both are in phase. Voltage across the resistor and the current in the resistor RL is both are in phase. So the voltage across the inductor X and the current in the inductor. So always in an inductor the current lags the voltage. So therefore current has to lag the voltage. So current will lag and the voltage in the inductor X, I will assume the voltage in the inductor as Vx because X is like that. So I am taking it as a Vx. So Vx is the voltage drop across the inductor X and the VRL is the voltage drop across the resistor RL. So the current lags voltage across the inductor and the both current and the voltage are phase in the resistor RL. So therefore there is net, therefore this net equivalent is this net equivalent. I am going to draw net equivalent is this is phasor is a combination of VRL and Vx. VRL and Vx both summation will become V3. So therefore this is a V3 phasor, right? So this is the angle phi. Phi is the power factor angle. Phi is the power factor angle and cos phi is the power factor. So now V2 is the voltage across the resistor R, and I is the current in the resistor. So in resistor, voltage and current are always in phase. So let I assume this is V2, because in the resistor R, the voltage and the current are both in phase. So V3 and on V2. So now V2 and V3, their combination will become their vector addition will become V1. So therefore, this vector is right. So I am going to just move up to in this direction. So the same length and same angle with respect to x-axis. So therefore, this is again same length V3 and same angle with respect to x-axis. With respect to x-axis it is phi, and similarly here also same phi. So these two combination V2 and V3, their net arithmetic net vector addition, their vector addition will become V1. So therefore the net, this one will become, so net arithmetic it will become this one. This one is from tail to arrow, this part will become V1. I hope now you understood the phasor diagram of this. So V2 value we know, V3 value we know, and V1 also they are given in the question. The only thing which you don't know is phi. So now we need to write the parallelogram theorem, parallelogram formula. So therefore V1 square, is equal to V2 square plus V3 square plus 2 V2 V3. So V2 and V3 has an angle of phi. So we need to write a cos phi. This is the parallelogram formula. So therefore we know V1, we know V2, we know V3. The only thing is cos phi, which is unknown. So if you substitute V1, V2, V3, and if you do the calculation for cos phi, so then we will get cos phi is equal to 0.45 we will get. So therefore this is the power factor of the load. So first part, the part A is completed, which is 0.45. So now we need to find the power consumed by the load. So if you see carefully, one thing will be very clear. Here cos phi is adjacent by hypotenuse. In this triangle I am considering the triangle VRL, Vx and V3. This right angle triangle I am going to consider. So therefore cos phi is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So therefore cos phi is equal to, adjacent is VRL, means voltage across the resistor RL, by V3. So now I know cos phi, I know V3. The only unknown value is VRL. So therefore VRL is equal to cos phi into V3. Cos phi is 0.45 and the V3 is into 136. So we need to find the power consumed by the load. See, inductance doesn't consume any active power. Here the power means active power we need to find. So inductor will consume only reactive power. So it doesn't consume any active power. So therefore only one in the load, there is another element which is resistive load. Only the resistive part will consume the active load. But we know the voltage across the resistor RL is VRL, right? VRL, which is already known. So therefore power is equal to V square by R formula. So the power consumed by the RL means it is equal to power consumed by the load is equal to VRL, voltage across the resistance part, VR square by RL. So VRL is how much? 0.45 into 136 whole square by the resistance RL is, which is already given, which is 5. So if you do the calculation, we will get power consumed by the load is 750 watts. So we have calculated two things in this formula, two parameters in this numerical. See, I will repeat it again, the part B. If you not understood, what I am trying to say is power consumed by the load. The reactance part doesn't consume any active power, so therefore only the resistance part will consume the power. So I am finding the voltage across the resistance part VRL by this cos phi. adjacent by hypotenuse. So I got the VRL. So power consumed by resistor is V square by R. I am using that formula V square by R. So voltage across the resistor part I have known, and the resistor, the value of the resistance is already given in the numerical, and we need to calculate the power consumed by the resistor. So the power consumed by the resistor is equal to the power consumed by the load. Successfully we have completed 90 numericals by this lecture, and we will do all the numericals of all subjects in the same manner in our upcoming classes. If you like the content of our lecture, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever we upload a new video, the direct notifications come to your mobile. If you want to do any improvement in our lectures, then please do comment in the comment section, and we will read each one comment and we will improve our content also. So thank you for watching our lectures.